What's good, people? I am Swavor, and this is Opinionated Facts. Today, we're going to be talking about that story. Yeah, we're talking about Casey White and Vicky White. Casey White being the escaped convict, who actually is I can't wait to say this, you guys, like the jailbird lover. I know y'all saw in that article. The jailbird lover of Mrs. Vicky White, who assisted Mr. Casey White in escaping from, I believe, the Lauderdale County Corrections Facility in Alabama. So we're going to be talking about that today, myself and the panel. So I have with me today, Mrs. CC at Journey to the Great.
Hello, people.
Corsi at Coco Love.
Hey, y'all.
Elliot at E-Rated Photography.
Going on.
And Q.
What's good, people?
All right, so y'all, I mean, there's a whole lot to unpack this one, so we're just going to jump right in. Let's start with Mr. Vicky White. What she got going on, man? They say Vicky was 56 years old, and she had been working at the corrections facility that she worked at for about 17 years. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would Vicky put so much time in at building her career? 17 strong years, and then she made it all the way up to, I think, assistant director. Why would she do that just to run off with Casey?
I want to say, I think it was love, but also she wasn't happy with herself. So, she didn't have any kids or anything, from my understanding. She had a family, but I don't think her family realized how unhappy she was, because it was an interview with her mother talking and stuff. And, they missed her and they wanted her to do the right thing, but it's just I don't think they knew that she was unhappy.
I feel like it had to be some type of a mental issue or something possibly going on, because I also saw that she wasn't married. She has been married before, but she wasn't married, and she didn't have any children, so no grandkids either. And it almost seems like it's kind of sad. It almost seems like, she didn't feel like she had anything to live for, so why not? So I just kind of wonder, was there like a snap, like a mental snap? Because logically, it's like, what were you thinking would be the outcome of this?
Yeah, I think that mental snap, I think that makes the most sense, because if you also taking the play that, she was getting ready to retire soon as well. So maybe in her mind, she felt like, well, once I retire, because a lot of people like that, like, once I retire, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna do to pass time and everything? So maybe she just looked at her life and she was like you were saying,
why not?
Well, that's all I had to live for. Might as well.
Very valid point. Like you said, she's getting ready to retire. She won't see her boo anymore. So, she's like, we gonna have to make a run for it. Because I did read
and Jay-Z.
Yeah,
Bonnie
I
and
read
Clyde.
that because she was a widow, and prior to that marriage, she had a longtime love that died in a car accident. So, she wanted love, and, apparently she found love in him, because he probably was telling her all the things she wanted to hear. He's an inmate. He got plenty of time on his hands, so he knew how to finesse her.
Come up with them words, that rap.
Right.
He got that script right.
Hey, let me talk to you, Rick.
Exactly.
But you know what? That's one hell of an alternative. I tell you that much. So, because me and Coco was talking about how some of the articles was writing that she was a widow, and I was like, I thought she was divorced. Was she previously married?
Yeah.
Okay, so the person that died, was that a boyfriend or was that the actual husband?
The first love that died, that was just a boyfriend, from my understanding.
Okay.
And then she later married, and her husband passed away.
Oh man.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
And see, that's traumatic too. When you deal with people like that close to you passing away, with that's like a trauma. I think it was like a mental thing, because otherwise it doesn't really make much sense. I don't get it. But I understand falling in love with the wrong person, even, an inmate. So I kind of get that, especially if you are lonely and everything. I understand how it could happen. But what the logic should come in somewhere where it's like, we not going to make it, all kinds of things that are going. Because, not to mention the fact that you walk around here with a man that looks like Luke.
Right. He was 6'9". Well, he is 6'9".
Yeah, he's huge. Like, what y'all thought? Like,
but it ain't sticking nowhere.
Like, what's going on? Like,
he getting all them commissary snacks, man. I'm gonna tell you, he was 330 pounds at 6'9". He was huge, big dude.
That's what got me when they were talking about, she snuck him out. Man, she ain't sneak him out. He walked out. Like,
you can't sneak nothing like that out, okay?
You know what? Let's move over to him though. And it was ironic. They talked about this too. They both have the last name White. but they're not related and they've never been married as far as we know.
Right.
So I think it's interesting about him though, is that like he had a long like rap sheet. He was already like convicted of like murder, and he had some other stuff going on with another
murder, attempted murder,
yeah,
armed burglary or something like that.
Right, armed robbery, kidnapping. He killed a dog.
Wait.
He killed a dog. And what I thought was interesting, they had a quote from her mom was saying that after she sold her home, you know, pretty much her routine was she would come home, walk her dog, and, you know, she really didn't do much. And so I'm like, you have access to his records. You know, this man is a dog killer on top of all the other stuff he's done, but she still found him attractive some kind of way.
That was some cold rap game right there. I tell you, I want to know what he had to say.
We need to know. Man, whatever kind of game that was, that's championship level right there. You know what I mean?
I don't want it.
He need to write a book about that.
Right, I don't want it.
But look, hey, check this out. So you already all said that she sold her house actually to get the money, if I'm assuming, so that they can make the escape away. So they said her house was valued at over $235,000, and she sold it, I guess, in a hurry for $95,000. So somebody must have, I don't know whether, I mean, because that takes me to this point right here. Did he actually coerce her, or do y'all feel like it's something she really, really wanted badly, or do you think it was him like pushing it, like, hey, we got to get this money, you got to do something? I mean, what do y'all think?
Yeah, it was like, we're gonna need cash, so you need to do this, and you need to do it quick if you're talking about retiring on this day. And I think she just did the quick sell, because selling a house at an undervalued price in today's times is like a steal for anybody.
That's true.
He definitely coerced her, because I think, and what it kind of looks like, he probably, got her to start talking to him, and then she started, probably spilling her, her life story about, how her previous lovers, they passed, and he probably played off of that, and just, it don't really seem like it probably would have been that hard to kind of, manipulate her and get her to, help him out and everything, make her think that he actually was feeling her like that, or love her and everything.
I can see that. And let's talk about like where this all started with those two. It says that they have some documentation of them actually being in a relationship around 2020, right?
Yeah.
So Casey had been, I guess he was serving a 75-year sentence. So I see he really didn't have nothing to lose. I mean, because he was going to die in there anyway. But, going back to what we were talking about earlier with her, I mean, like, that's still interesting to me too, because, he was what, 36? He's 38. Right?
38.
So he's 38. And then he's talking to this lady that's 56. And I'm not saying age is like the barrier or whatever, but I mean, really, did she really believe that that's who, he really wanted her? You know what I mean?
He probably made her feel that way, of course. So, and her being lonely, she, went for it.
And then, I mean, not to mention the fact, it's not like he got a whole hell of a lot of women to pick from, so he might have really wanted her.
Right.
It's not like he,
he ain't got that many options.
Yeah, because
right.
it's not like he out here free and he can have his choice of any woman. Like, then not only that, like, you gotta get a woman that's willing to be with you. So, I think he probably did want her. I mean, honestly, and clearly she wanted him, because she could have went on and found somebody somewhere other than him, obviously. So
that's what baffles me though. Like, what was it? I mean, again, I guess we ain't gonna know that until maybe he comes out and says whatever it is that he said, which he probably never will do, or if he writes a book or something like that. But that's what really has me like stuck here for a second. I get the point of being, lonely and to yourself, but what I don't get is why him. You had the whole free world. And you had all these other options. I'm sure there were several other people in that facility that maybe worked there or somewhere in that town, because we're here in Alabama and we know it's a lot of small little towns or whatever, but I'm sure it was somebody else somewhere that she could have chose other than him. And it seemed like she had a really good relationship with all the other people that she worked with, because they said that she was like a mother figure to some of the younger corrections officers and stuff like that. And people had a lot of respect for her. So I'm sure she could have found someone.
Yeah. But like you said, she was looked at as the mother figure. He probably made her feel sexy.
He brought that excitement to her.
Right.
She probably was bored. I mean, it sound easy and simple, but I mean, really, she probably was bored. She probably felt like, people like you saying, people always feel like, oh, she's the mother. She's, she's simple. Oh, you already know what to expect from her and everything. So I guess she felt like, why not go with the unexpected? And it don't get much more unexpected than you dating a guy with about 6 stars on GTA. So, might as well, I guess.
Not to shift things, but I read the article where it was like they was thinking about going, like it's going to be a shootout with the cops because they had weapons in the car. And I just thought that was crazy.
I want to go into that, though, this whole thing about them escaping in the first place. Let's talk about that a little bit. Well, actually, I'm going to go back a little bit, too, like as far as like with Casey. So they were saying that he was getting like special treatment and stuff like that. So I guess that was like some of the things that people use to say, yeah, we know something's going on between those two, because they were saying in the article that I was reading that he was getting all this special treatment and he was getting extra food or whatever on his plate. And
his big self.
He didn't
need no extra food.
I mean, so I gotta eat.
I guess she said she gonna feed her man.
That's it.
He about 300 plus. He needed.
And then I gotta bring this out. They said there was no physical contact after the fact. Now, it may have been some physical contact after the escape, but they were saying it wasn't even any physical contact between those two while this was going on. As far as
how do they know that though? I mean, how do they know that for real?
That's a good question, but that's what they're saying.
I mean, hard to believe.
Yeah, I mean, he was a large guy, right? Mm-hmm. And very tall. And I saw a video. I actually saw this yesterday or last night, and it was like him coming back to Alabama or whatever, being transferred back. And I was reading the comments. I love to read comments, y'all. Sometimes it made me mad, sometimes it made me laugh. But I was reading the comments or whatever, and a lot of people were saying, what did she see in him? Because I didn't realize he was so big. Like, I'm like, goodness. So somebody said in the comments, if you look just south of the belly button in those prison pants, you can see what she saw in him. Basically.
Oh man, come on.
So she was saying
basically he had a little horse in his blood. Basically.
Yeah.
And what's all this about?
All these women were saying no, because all these women were saying like, yep, that's what I was saying. And I'm like, well, wait a minute here.
You know what? You're probably right. You probably took it on one of the forms or something. You know what? We gotta keep moving.
I mean, she's been there 17 years, so I'm sure she knows the blind spots in the prison, in the jail. So she probably, would take him off here and there and allow him to give her a cavity search. So
I'm ready for my search today. Be the happiest inmate for a search. But anyway, let's go a situation about them actually escaping. So
yeah, like you could clearly see, like she was leading him out to like the car and everything. Like she wasn't being held against her will or nothing. Like she just she was ready to go. Like, come on.
So hold on. So she was transporting him to what she had told, I guess the officials or whatever, that they was taking him to get some psychiatric treatment. Is that what
she told? Two different people, two different things.
So what do you know what she said to them?
One of them, what you just said about the mental evaluation, and then she told somebody else he had a court appearance that day to prepare him for court.
I thought that was interesting too. Go ahead.
Neither one of them was true though, as we know.
So she threw him in. She let him out, and then I think it's a video out where you can see, like you said, she just basically was opening the doors and letting them on through. And they said that they hopped in the patrol car. I guess the one that she was supposed to be transporting him where they was transporting him to, and then she went and parked it in the parking lot. And then they switched vehicles. They say they switched vehicles several times. Say she had purchased a 2007 Ford Edge. Am I right about that?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So that's where they made some switches and got into these different vehicles. But where did they actually get caught? The only thing I got was some about a car wash. I don't remember everything about all the details about it. They were saying something about she picked him up from a car wash. And that's my first question I'm asking, what are they doing at the car wash? I was like, what are you doing there?
I think it was it Indiana?
Yeah, Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah, because all I saw on the day that it happened, it was so funny. we don't do well on social media. And all I saw was people saying Indiana, like of all places, like why would you go there? But yeah, from my understanding, I don't know what they were doing at the car wash, but I guess the car wash employee saw on the surveillance camera, you could see him, and he's in the, like, it's one of those self-service car washes, I guess is what it looked like. And so you see the car, and he's like just kind of in the video. He ain't washing no car. I know that. And I don't know if they just looked at him and was like, who's that guy? What is he doing? And then again, lurch, so tall or whatever. And they probably was like, what? They started coming out and like, that look like dude from
boy, I know that ain't who I think it is.
Yeah. And then there you go. Now I don't know where she was at, because the clip that I saw, it just was him. I don't know. Did y'all see a clip where she was in the clip as well at the car wash, or maybe she was in the car or something?
I just seen him too.
Well, from what I read, that he was waiting at the car wash with the vehicle they were abandoning, and she pulled up in the Cadillac. So because they, like you said, they switched cars several times.
Okay, so that makes sense. So basically they was gonna dump the car that was already in at the car wash and just switch and go.
Stick in the Cadillac.
Right.
He should have stayed in the car then. I mean,
but they was already spotted. Yeah.
Okay, so then I guess they called the people that was this at a gas station or anyway. So whoever saw him must have called police, and then I guess the chase ensued after that.
No, they caught them. They went to a motel, and they got a homeless man to book the hotel in his name. And so they booked it for 14 days, and they end up leaving the motel for some reason. They were leaving. And by this time, police had already set up surveillance on the motel, and they saw him leaving out in the Cadillac.
Okay. So this makes sense. Okay. What's the difference between a motel and a hotel? I mean, I know it's kind of random, but anyway.
Hotel.
What's the difference between you guys know some motel? When I hear motel,
one of them you go inside, and the other one is the doors are outside. I think the motel is outside. You can get your key and go open your room door from outside. The hotel, you have to go inside, and you go like up stairs and elevators and stuff to go to your room.
I thought it was just the motel was smaller and the hotel bigger.
I thought that it was the motel was just like cheaper and like, well, just not nice or whatever.
Yeah, that was
was nicer.
In the words of my guy Tony Baker, I
never knew. There's something new every day.
So he got her in the motel. Hey, we don't need all that extra stuff. Give me a key. Let me go to the door. But anyway, hey man,
probably less likely to be seen, I guess.
This is messy. This is real messy. So y'all think they got it in at the motel?
Of course.
He ain't had none in a minute.
He was but he tore up.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I would have wanted to get that 56. I would have. I'm gonna leave that alone. So anyway, they get on. So the high speed chase happens after that.
Yeah, after they end up leaving the motel. But let me just add this part too, to confirm they got it in, because they did. Because they did say that prior to this whole escape thing, that she went to one of the sex stores.
Oh yeah, I did.
What?
Yeah. And said she purchased some lingerie. She purchased some lingerie.
Yes, sir.
And possibly an assortment of sex toys. So yeah, they got it in.
What they doing in a motel? Okay.
Wait a minute now.
Yeah.
See, baby.
They get wicked in motel.
Vicky said, I had some plans for this young man. Okay.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Yeah, this planned out.
And we're gonna go out with a bang.
She was ready to die for it. She was ready to kill police for it.
You know what? Crazy. You know what? That's crazy now that y'all talk about that though, man. You know what? Hey, I see. Hey, fellas, see we got the effect on, man. They willing to risk it all, man. They willing to risk it all.
I guess she's technically what you would, I mean, aside from the breaking him out of prison thing, that's technically what a cougar would do in a sense, kind of.
That ain't no cougar. That is she's somebody meemaw. You can't. She pushing 60. No, you when you push 60, you somebody
bro, like 30 something.
38.
Yeah, he sure don't look it though, but
yeah, she was more so on the Meemaw side, because also in that same story that I read, one of the employees that worked at the sex shop, they said, and I quote from the article I read, it was like she was old before her time. She slowly waddled rather than walked.
What does that mean? Waddle?
Waddle. She might have been a little heavy, like
you know that. You know that.
Right, you know that old. You know how.
You know that when that hip don't. You know when that hip don't fully hip.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what she was doing in the motel. Then, if that hip gonna come disjointed or whatever,
hey,
when you
let me tell you something. Look, now you need little WD.
Hey, what say?
She ain't gotta
look. Spread out.
Look. Let me tell you something. She just gotta get there. She don't need to do all that moving and stuff. Once she's there, she's there.
Right, she knew how to make it work.
Yeah, crazy. Right.
Put you on that good hill.
Let's get back to this story, man. Y'all crazy. Yeah, let's get back to it. So all right. So after they get it on in the motel, and what made them leave the motel anyway? Because I know in the recording, I think somebody said they heard her say something like, "We should have never left the motel."
That.
Yeah,
she said,
or we should have stayed.
Yeah, maybe they was going to get something to eat or something.
I'm thinking that because the same way that they kept switching cars, I'm thinking that they were just trying to stay ahead of the police. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think in a situation like this, you do have to probably like keep moving. Like, you probably don't want to stay anywhere more than a day, because if they're on, like, okay, I know they had updated like the public saying that they had that edge, and that they had abandoned, I think, the edge or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So the police are on to you. So it's like, if you're seeing that they know what kind of car you last was in, you know what I mean? So it's like you gotta keep it moving or whatever. So I understand them leaving the motel or whatever, to go and like try to, and then plus in my mind, I would hope that they was trying to get the hell out of the country. Surely they were not going to try to stay there.
Yeah. When they got caught,
but see, they had got the homeless guy to rent the hotel for 14 days. So I don't know. Well, it could have been something where maybe they got paranoid and it was like, we can't stay here. We have to go. So that very well could have been it.
I'm sorry, y'all. That was just dumb on their end. That was dumb. You've been gone for 11 days, and the farthest you go is to Louisiana. Like, I thought they was at least somewhere far. Really? That was disappointing.
No, they went to Indiana. It was Evansville, Indiana. It was up there. So
feel very disappointing. Like, they should have been in they should have been like in Canada or something. Like, I don't know. And I don't know how they plan to do that. I don't know what they were planning on doing, but they should not have still been in the country. I just don't understand.
But you know what? So let's get to like what happened though. Because unfortunately, Miss Vicky White lost her life trying to get away. And from my understanding, they were in some type of short high-speed chase, and the police actually speared the car they were in and pushed it into a ditch.
Yeah.
So then this is another part that really kind of got my attention. They said that she killed herself. Was it like at the crash, like when they crashed?
Supposedly, I think like somewhere before, either, I don't know if it was because like on the report, like apparently she called 911 or somebody called 911, and so there's a recording before it happened, like before the crash happened or whatever, and that's when she can be heard saying like, we should have stayed at the motel. She said the airbags are going to deploy and kill us or something like that. And I think she said something about let's get out and run. So
she wasn't about to run though.
Well, yeah.
Hold on though. I got it. Why did she call and just say that though? Like, why? So it's like she just holding the phone and just saying these things. Like, what was she trying to do?
I don't know. I would love to hear the whole thing, like to see what is your reason for calling. Surely you're not calling because they chasing you.
That's very unfortunate. I think it's very unfortunate in the first place. But it's just strange. Like all of that, you work with this man. And I guess I know that she may have felt that she was in love, but you work with this man, you go on 11 manhunt. You sell your house, you basically throw away your whole career, all your pension, your retirement, just to do an 11-day, like I said, 11-day run, just to kill yourself in the end.
I guess she probably couldn't face the people because, like, the way that her, I guess, like, employer or her coworkers seem to have felt betrayed. And then I think you mentioned how somebody mentioned how she was like looked at as like a motherly figure or whatever for a lot of people. I know on one of the reports I saw, he said that she trained a lot of the people. So a lot of these people looked up to her and she was like a model employee, as according to I think like the director or whatever. And he stated like, they felt betrayed, and he said that he feels like she just probably felt like she couldn't come back and face them. And then, of course, obviously face going to prison or whatever as well. But I think that's more so what it was. And I think, I would even venture to say that she might have made peace with what her ending was going to be before she even did this. Going back to the beginning of our conversation where we were saying that, she didn't have any kids. She, didn't have any grandkids. And, it kind of seemed like she didn't really, maybe she felt like she doesn't have anything else going on for her if she, in fact, killed herself. Because, I don't know. It's not outlandish for me to believe that she killed herself, but I did not know about Casey's past as far as with his ex-girlfriend. So I don't know if y'all saw that or whatever, but apparently he has an ex that died by suicide as well. And she supposedly shot herself in the chest with a sawed-off shotgun, and her family never believed that. And it does sound kind of weird. So
yeah, and they said due to all of this going on that they were going to reinvestigate that situation because, yeah, like you said, for years they didn't believe that she took her own life.
So maybe he killed Vicky himself. Maybe he felt like, it's possible. Maybe he, shot her before, because what if when they got caught, and what if she had turned on him some type of way and tried to make them believe that he did coerce her or kidnap her or whatever.
That's a good one.
But see, I see what you're saying, but you also got to look at it like this. Anywhere it goes, if she say that or whatever, he's still gonna have the death penalty regardless. So what is you killing her really gonna do?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And I think she was prepared to die anyway, because according to when they said the authorities interviewed Casey White, had they not crashed, they were pretty much planning on a shootout. And they they found like camping and survival gear. They found wigs. It was 4 loaded handguns, an AR-15 style rifle. They had extra ammunition, and they also had her taser and handcuffs. Well, they probably did other stuff with the handcuffs, but that's what they found.
The taser too.
What?
Might have been on some crazy. You know what? But honestly, I want to ask y'all this question too.
Mm-hmm.
Could you do it? If I'm sure we've all done some things that we felt has probably what we look at now. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, like in past relationships and stuff like that. Do you think that you could do this if you were Vicky? Do you think you could do something like this?
No,
not at all.
I was about to say, I ain't never met nobody that looked good enough for me to do all that for. I don't think I'm a.
My life, I'm like, aside from the, what I'm saying, because again, she was lonely or whatever, ain't no telling how long she been in the company of a man and all of that. So aside from thinking that you're in love or maybe in lust or whatever with this man, aside from that, I'm gonna sell my house and throw away my pension. She was the assistant director. I would venture to think that she was making some good money on top of that.
She had to be.
I'm gonna throw all of that away. Man, they can't give me nothing. This man can't go and get no good job when y'all make it to wherever y'all going. Like, no. He can't do anything. He cannot do anything for you. You are throwing everything away that you have worked hard for this man. Baby, if you don't go get on Tinder and find you somebody that's free, right. Like, no, I could not. No. She should have snapped out of that. Like,
And for me, his rap sheet alone is like, no.
Ain't that many people lying on this man. He'd have killed somebody. Okay.
Right.
Right.
He was wanted for kidnapping, attempted murder, burglary, breaking and entering a vehicle, animal cruelty, attempting to elude the police, all this in one night. And it says it was a multi-state crime spree.
Wow.
Then his ex was on the news, and she was like, they had her in protective custody because they wasn't sure if he would try to come back and hurt her or anything. But she was basically like, if you're out there and you're listening, run. He is crazy.
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. You said what now?
Yeah, it was a video. His ex was on the news. Casey's his ex, and she basically was saying that like she was wherever she was at, she was in protective custody because they wasn't sure if he would try to come back because he tried to kill her before. But because she's the ones who testified against him. And she was like, I don't know where you're at, but she was basically speaking to Vicky, and she was like, but if you're still alive, she was like, run. She just kept saying, run. She said, he crazy.
Well, clearly. Honestly, when I first heard about the whole situation, I just knew that he was gonna kill her. Like, once he got to where he was gonna go or whatever, I just knew that they was gonna find her dead before they found him. But I was wrong, apparently.
I'm not sure if y'all noticed, but he had 2 children himself, a son and a daughter, and a 2-year-old grandson. Grandchild.
Yeah. And I seen that Vicky used to send Christmas gifts for his grandchild and I think the younger son. And she did go visit. I think maybe once because they had the mother. It was some article I seen where the mother spoke to one of the news outlets and said that Vicky came to visit.
Wow. So she was really in it. It wasn't a game. She was really in it.
Yeah, she was in love.
What can we take from this?
To be fair to her and everything like that, I do think that a mental illness did play some factor in it, just for the simple reason I might be wrong, but I think that when they were leaving, she said something about she wasn't feeling well mentally, so she was gonna get, I don't know, checked by a physician or something like that, or she just wasn't feeling well mentally. I think so. For them to not really raise an eyebrow with that, maybe she had done that before. So maybe she had battled with some type of, mental illness before, and all this stuff just kind of just came in all one time, and she just lost it. But what you can take from it is if you are feeling that way, if you are feeling you're not feeling right, or you're not feeling right about the situation or whatever, basically don't let anybody, coerce you to do anything. But also, if you're feeling like that, then you need to, seek help, because once you snap, we've seen it on, numerous occasions with anybody. Once you snap, you don't know what a person will do. That we've seen people do some of the craziest things, but like when they snap and when they lose whatever that last little bit of sense they had in their head, it's over at that point.
I just want to say that I do believe that saying that love make people do crazy things, because this situation clearly was an example of love and how it made Vicky do crazy things.
I would just say that, mental health is really important. And, also just a sign to, like, I don't know, check on people, like if you have a suspicion or something like that. I don't know. I think someone said that her family was like, she didn't really see them much or something like that, I don't really know if anything really could have been done about this. I kind of doubt she was telling anybody about it, but if there were any signs, I mean, to me, a sign was her like visiting his family and stuff. Like, it's kind of different. So if anyone was close to her or whatever and kind of saw it, like, I feel like if I was doing something like that and my friends got an ink or my family got an inkling, they'd be like, you can't be with that man, right? I feel like somebody would say something to me, but it just kind of depends on how much they know. But yeah, I don't know. Just mental health again is important, because I do feel like it was something mentally going on there.
I'm gonna go off and say I agree with everything that everyone is saying. I think that love, she may have thought that she wasn't. Now, did she have a clear understanding of what love really is? Well, I don't really know. But whatever she was going through at that time, she had to trust Mr. Casey White to some degree to do all what she did. But I think what we could take from this is pay attention, and don't get so head over heels that you lose your sense of reality. Even if they had escaped, what would her life have been with him after? I think that's something to really think of. I don't think that should make people shy away from wanting to be in love, but just use common sense. And I think stay in a state of reality. It's unfortunate that she had to lose her life in this situation. And I'm sure Mr. Casey White will be now probably locked down even tighter than he was before. He'll probably end up dying in jail. Well, I know it's just unfortunate, man. And hopefully a lot of people will learn from this. And I'm sure that that particular center down there is probably going to be doing some crazy stuff, trying to revamp how they're going to, do things from this point on. Because I think when I was reading too that you're actually not supposed to transport a prisoner without two other officers. So it's supposed to be like 2 to 3 people with you whenever you're moving inmates around. So
for me, the thought that I have that even though all this happened, he's back in custody, that he's going to get a ton of women writing to him, wanting to be in a relationship.
Yeah. People are so weird, man. I tell you,
it's like Charles Manson stuff.
Yes, this man that did all kinds of crazy stuff, and
yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna cut it off right there, you guys. And
I got so hold on. I got something to talk about. I just thought about it when they was going. You said that they got the homeless man to put under his name, right?
Yeah.
How the hell do you get the person that they ain't got nowhere to stay to book a motel? That's all type of messed
They
up.
paid him. They gave him money to do it.
I hope they paid him enough so he can get one too. He homeless.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hello.
I'm used to this, big dog. Give me a little paper, man.
I want to add something too, though. So, like, they wasn't gonna survive that long off of $90K. I mean, being an adult, like, that's not a lot of money.
No,
eventually you're gonna run out.
Too, they got down to 29. They found 29,000.
Yeah, like
so they went
was
through a
down
lot
to
of
that in 11 days. So, where was they gonna get money? Was they gonna rob a bank or something? Like, they was gonna run out eventually.
I don't know. If somebody gave me 90K right now, I'll make it stretch. Shoot, I don't know about it. You said it ain't a lie. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
I'll make it work.
From an entrepreneur or investor standpoint, you could flip it and make it work for you. But I feel like in that situation, they was on the run. So it was like spin. Like, I don't think they was more concerned about how we going to make this triple or how we going to make this last us longer. Yeah. Like, they was down to 29K. That's bad.
Clearly, mentally, both of them went all the way there. They was a little, they were a little touched because that whole plan. Right, that whole plan wasn't thought out well, but
In conclusion, I want to thank everybody for listening to us today. I hope that you guys got something from it. Thank the panel. You guys are great all the time. I am Swavor. This is Opinionated Facts, and until next time, peace.